welcome. Samantha Tunador, and following Jessica and what she shared, I thought we had chatted a day or two before, and I'd like to take some of her key points and help you all figure out how do you communicate that information to turn it into more buyers. So I'm going to do my best to do that. I didn't see her slides until really when you did. I took really note for note what she was saying. I was recently listening to another economist speak on similar things. I live in Leesburg, Northern Virginia, and I've been in the real estate world my whole life. I happen to be in mortgage right now. I get to work with Miles, and my strength is actually in lead generation and building businesses. And in the lending world, you're like, oh, loan officers talk about FHA and VA and all those wonderful things, right? Of course, as she was saying the things she was saying, I'm like, oh, I wish I had a different presentation, because guess what I'm not talking about? Mortgages. You guys probably hear a lot about them. There's great mortgage loan officers everywhere in our marketplace. It's one of the most competitive marketplaces. They're all just really good. You're in pretty darn good hands, right? Especially with Miles, with our community here. You've got great member partners here. My presentation is not about mortgages, but it is about helping you with words to say, helping you build your business so we can start talking to more young single men. So, right, let's wake up a marketplace. If you have a quiet marketplace, let's wake it up. Let's help people understand how homeownership can become an option for them. Am I speaking loud enough? Like earlier, we're like, yeah, we don't need microphones. So let's see, do I have a presentation? Magic over here. You're so. I'm going to try to relate back some of the things she said to give you some more tools. The way my brain works is definitely on business development, and that's how I work on our team. I actually never sit behind a computer and run numbers. Miles does that. My husband Tom does that. So I actually get out in our community and work with real estate agents to help them build their business, because what you need is not necessarily another guru. You need a power partner. You need someone who's in it besides you. And my presentation would right now be telling you a little bit about what we don't want to see on social media channels. And I think we've done a lot of following what other real estate agents are doing or what other lenders are doing. And I think there's a lot of exhaustion. If you're a real estate agent and you're posting about real estate, what's in your scroll? Real estate, other realtors. So you're like, this is the most boring place ever. Or you feel bad because you know what you're start comparing. And there's a reason that's happened to you. Because a cake baker, when they talk about cakes, they get other cake bakers. A mortgage lender, when they talk about mortgages, I get other mortgage lenders. It's not very fun. If we can shift our messaging on social media, and I don't know why other people aren't telling you, why these gurus aren't telling you this, but they also want to be in a position where they can be paid for their information. If you can shift that conversation to fixing problems, you start talking to your audience, right? So talk about the problem, fix the problem, be the solution. If you don't know how to fix that problem, what are you answering every day to your consumer, right? So, and I challenge people all the time to say, you've just moved into a new house and the door lock needs to be changed. That should be one of the first things you do. How many of you said that to a client? A lot. Where's your video that's telling people what you're going to tell them, right? That makes them go, oh, that's so smart. I never would have thought about that. He's my go-to agent. He just fixed the problem for me. You say it every day, but you're not actually saying it one to many. It's just a simple shift. You don't need to say 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, because guess who's saying that? Zillow? Are you just sending them over to Zillow? No, you need to be the expert. You don't need to be Vanna White walking into an open house saying, this is the kitchen, this is the fireplace. They know. Most of them can see that. They need you to say, how does this house fit for you? How would you use this room? Can you picture yourself here? Staged or not, right? They need you to fix their problems. When it doesn't have an office, I'm getting sidetracked, so I'll have a presentation. We're going to be here forever. But when it doesn't have an office, like, deal breaker, I need an office, I would go and say, how would you use this alcove? What would this space be for you? Would this be a multi-purpose space? Would this work for an office for you? Right? So you have opportunity if you start solving problems, right? because buyers are liars.
When you talk about solving problems, are you giving like financing solutions in your videos? Or are you talking about like challenges the buyers are facing finding a home that fits? How do you do it?
I'm a lender and I never talk about financing, right? But if I help your buyer,
Sure.
you send the person to me, right? So I'm fixing your problems,
Got it.
right? So back to your question, do I talk about financing or do I talk about?
No, but you said you're solving problems, right?
Mhm.
Do you give an example of like this buyer was struggling to find a unit that fit, or do you talk about they were having challenges with like?
And when I say I don't talk about financing, I do a little bit because I talk about this happened to this person and this is how we solved it.
Got it.
Absolutely. Be a problem solver. Your content will start connecting and converting business if you care about content. But the care content is you're walking content, whether you put it on video or not. It's the conversations you have. How can I help?
We're trying to fix it. Yeah.
What I wanted to highlight, I was recently at an economic summit and the slide went up, first time buyers, now 40 years old. And it's factual, it's true. Agents screen, took a photo, threw it up on their social media and said, the average home buyer now, first time home buyer is now 40. Is that helpful? Right? It's not. But if you went through and told a story, and maybe it's your story, maybe it's a client's story, right? This homeowner bought this house 5 years ago. It's already gone up this much in value. 5 years from now, at that same rate, it'll be this price. You cannot afford to miss out on this wealth building opportunity, right? So share a solution, share why it's a problem, that you need to get started earlier. Don't pay attention to the Pinterest, home, garden TV, this is your dream house, because you won't get to the dream house without buying the starter house. I love when my son went to college and he's looking at rentals, and oh my gosh, there are some swoon-worthy rentals in Harrisonburg at JMU. And I'm like, why did you pick the grossest one? He's like, I want to set a low bar so it just keeps getting better. Sometimes we just need to have that conversation with people, right? So I bet you know those apartments are really, really gross. Sorry. What can I help with? Where do we go? It's there. Okay. How about I followed my slides here? They can't see them. Why do you think it's not going up on the screen? Okay.
We're trying to see it.
What time is it?
It's
5:00.
It's 5. We started at 4:30-ish. Oh gosh, I didn't think I'd be talking at 5:30, so we'll have a long presentation really, but
It's the way for drinks.
pass the drinks forward. I have a different
Trying to connect your.
All right. So on my screen right now is like accolades and President Club award winners, and we make donations and top originators and all those things that like corporate or social media people can create for you. And while my mom wants to see them and I'm really proud of them, your sphere of influence does not care. They care about themselves, right? So sure, maybe it could be placed here or there, but you posting things about your rewards and your recognition, and I'll be the first one. I laugh every time I see something that says, I capped. I'm like, gee, the world doesn't understand what I capped means. And actually, they put an extra letter in there, and they're like, what? I don't understand. So your content from a social media standpoint should be about them and relevant if you want to connect and convert, right? I also, I'm going to say this because I'm off track. If you're on social media and posting, whether you have a third party doing it or you're doing it from time to time or it's automated, you should not expect to get business. Because social media, Jennifer is my earliest mentor in social media. Over 20 years ago, we were connecting and talking about social media. And it is meant to be social. That's what it was back then. And then we lost it. Everything's suppressed and there's ads and it's gross. Oh, look. So it's really crowded. It's not an easy place to build business. 3, 4, 5 years ago, I was like, jump in to do videos and do the trends and do the things. But guess what? It's so crowded and so not what consumers want to see anymore, and it's so much the same. It's going to be a really slow way to build on social media. And I know your brokers aren't saying that because they've been hearing for 3, 4, 5 years you need to get on social media. I'm of the mindset of you're a little bit late unless you really want to lean in hard and fast, but you're going to build your business really slow that way. I don't have time for you to build your business slowly. Miles doesn't have time. You don't have time. None of us have time to build our business slowly. We all want a fast track, a smart track, right? So I want to give you some solutions. Okay, can you go back to the beginning slide? If y'all want to scan that, all my slides are right there. We can get it to you afterwards. I'm sure it can be emailed out. I don't care. I don't know if you care to know or see it, but you can grab it later there. I want you to become the agent for everyone you know and everyone on your street, everyone in your sphere, but you got to actually open up for it. I'm going to give you some tips on how to do that. Next one. All of this is everything that just does not matter to anyone else, right? It's easy to post. We're proud. You can still do it. I do it, but I don't make it my primary posting. Do I have to click on? Can I do it? Or are you my content that does not connect. This is social. We're here to connect. If I walk into a room like this, I want to connect with you. I would never walk by, push a like button, and keep going. Who's giving it the scroll by that one. Like, come on. Stop. Connect. Tell me your name.
Jake.
Jake, what are you doing for dinner tonight?
TBD.
TBD. Tomorrow, message me. Tell me what you did for dinner.
Sounds good.
Have a conversation. Stop. Pause. It's a silver platter of relationships in your Facebook community, your Instagram community, where you get people collected. But for some reason, we're like running away from that going, I'm going to go to a networking event and meet new people. Well, now you got to warm up those new people. Why not just work with the people that are already there, that know, like, and trust you? Work with them, meaning connect with them. Stop scrolling by them. Who cares about the content you're creating? Start connecting. Start having conversations, right? This is content that does not connect. What makes them think of you? The reason you create content is to make them think of you, more so to help them feel like they're like you. They feel connected with you, which looks like, they look like marketing materials. French students, dog apples, pink doors, family time, food themes, lead gen, relationship goals, travel, make it special. Oh, that one. Wait, yeah, you're good. Next. It's really about how you make them feel connected to you when you're creating content. It's triggers where they go, next screen. Out of order. I feel like I'm like you. Here's what's happening in the world right now. There's 35,000 pieces of information coming at you today, and you. We're overwhelmed. Who were we just talking to? It was like our parents had a paragraph of information. It was so much simpler for them to say you're going to need 20% down. Now there's 35,000 pieces of information and all kinds of forms of content that make people go, oh, no, I can't make a decision, right? And we have spent decades putting them in a funnel and marketing at them, right? Get them in your CRM, just start peppering them with information, and eventually someone's going to fall out the bottom of the funnel. That is what's worked forever. But Google just recently did a massive survey to go, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And you said subscribe, turn the volume off, block, throw it away to recycling. I'm not taking phone calls. I'm screening them. I have a camera at my door. I'm breaking my phone. I don't want to be on social media anymore. They're like out. They do not want to be marketed to. What do they want? They want to feel like they're like you, they connect with you, and they want to work with you. Right? So how do you do that? How do they feel like you? I want to connect with you. I want to work with you. It's often
Average first-time buyer is now 38 years old when they buy a home. The problem with waiting until that age is they miss out on over a decade of building equity. If Maya at age 23 holds on to her home until she's 28 or 38, even at only 3% equity growth, which is pretty low for this area, on her 28th birthday, that house will be worth $466,000. On her 38th birthday, $626,000. At 5%, it would be worth $835,729. That's a lot of equity growth to be missing out if she were to wait until 38 to buy. The rule with real estate is to buy real estate late. Don't wait to buy real estate. Do it as early as you can. Get a starter home. Just get started.
Is that more helpful than saying the average first-time buyer a year ago was 38, it's now 42? My 23-year-old daughter bought a house, settled on it a year ago yesterday, right? Her friends were like, you're crazy. You know what her friends are saying today? How do I do this? What did my daughter say a year plus ago when she was going under contract? How do I do this? I'm like, 23 years, we've been talking about this every day. We're a real estate and mortgage household. How do you not know to do this? I don't know. Right? Even those closest to you don't really know what you're doing or how to do it. It's your job to give them to pave the way. Can you go back one screen, quickly?
First time buyers, not
Sorry.
38 years.
Be the problem solver. Your words matter. You're the one. You're the economic engine. Jessica just said, you're that economic engine that's controlling how people are making decisions. It's your words that matter in helping them move forward, right? So next one, sorry.
Yeah.
All right, so you don't need to be an influencer. No one needs any more influencers. You need to be a person of influence. You need to start making your words their words. Create spaces to build 100 raving fans. You don't need to be mass to everyone. You need to curate to 100 people. Because 100 people, without you barely marketing to them, means 10 deals this year, right? There's a Gary Keller that says for every 10 people you know, you get one deal. Okay, if you're top of mind. But all 100 of those people know 4 people moving for you. That's 400 conversations you can now be a part of if you're top of mind. How do you become top of mind? Do you ever say things like, everybody knows 12 realtors? Do you say that? Does anyone say that? You don't, because they do. They are the only realtor they are. And your job is to be so good that they say this is the only realtor that matters, right? Because they might. But their mind goes blank. And it goes blank because the brain only has room to keep 150 people top of mind. Have you been told that stat where people forget who the real estate agent is and they go on to use someone else? I did a good job. That's not me. It's not your fault. 150 people top of mind, and you have 35,000 pieces of information coming to you. Who here's already forgotten my name? Right? It's really easy not to keep someone top of mind. It's so easy to meet someone earlier in the day and forget that you even met them, right? So it's not personal when they don't remember their real estate agent, but it is your job as a real estate agent to add so much value that you stay top of mind. It's my job as a lender to add so much value that I stay top of mind, right? So where do you do that? Start a discussion group somewhere in a text chat. I'm a huge Substack fan. I think I'm called a Substack psycho. I've only been there for a month. Highly, highly recommended. If you follow me there, that's a great place to get content and information. You've got to build a space where you can create 100 raving fans. It's not your newsletter. Stop spending a day on it. In my personal opinion, Substack will do it for you for free. There's so many good reasons to use that, a long conversation. But you've got to build a room where there's 100 people who are going to talk about you when you're not in it, when you're not working, when you're fishing, you're on vacation, other people are building your business for you. I like to talk about things that help you be a brain maker so you can choose your business, right? So business just simply comes easier. And I think we're in a world, and I've been in the real estate world my whole life. We own real estate companies. I grew up in it, say my whole life, 45 years of it. I don't know, before 7, not applicable. That being said, I know what you've done over the years. I've been on the early side of all of it. I was telling, was it Jennifer? I was telling, my mom literally had the very first real estate website, probably-ish. One of the very first in the nation. I've always been early to trends, and I'm going to credit her for that. Like, I know where you've been, I know what you've done, and I'm walking through different ways to just simply do it better, smarter, faster.
Very good. Very good.
Substack is my favorite place to host a conversation. I'm spending 90% less time on Instagram or Facebook, and I'm spending 90% more time on Substack because it's amazing. You need to be there. And I'm going to actually share a story. This next screen is, can we turn the volume up on that one? Oh, it's not going to work on that one. I'm going to go back a screen quickly, and we'll figure out the volume on here. Maybe it's not that. Speaking of Substack, my friend Jake is here, brand new real estate agent, and he said, you know, my broker said, get on Instagram, start creating Instagram content. I'm like, where have you been all morning? He's like, I spent 3 hours building a post for Instagram. How's that working for you? He's like, well, I really like stats, so I could get into it. And it was fun. Is it going to connect and convert business? Yeah, some credibility. It's just going to be slow. And I said to him, let's talk about some ideas for you that pertain to your business and a community you could talk to. And I'm going to stand up for a second.
No.
So just so y'all see how cute he is. 24, just recently graduated from James Madison, and I said, well, who are your people? Who are your people? This pledge class, the one ahead of me, mine, one below me. Okay, pretty cool. What fraternity?
Sigma Nu.
Sigma Nu. And okay, well, he said they're not buying houses. Probably not today, right? What if you were to start a discussion group where you lead the conversation on how to buy your first home as a recent college graduate? And what if you housed it on a place like Substack? And you went into your chat groups with your pledge buddies and said, hey, I'm not going to talk to you all about real estate here because no one's here for that. But if you're interested in buying your first home after college, you want to join me over in a discussion group on Substack. Here's the link to it. Simply invite them in. Did that seem reasonable?
Yeah.
Right? And then like, what type of content can you see putting over in that Substack? Would it be first-time buyer programs that your lender supplies with you?
Yeah, I mean, you guys provided one to me like the next day at the sales meeting. You guys
Yeah.
provided the VHSA one.
Yeah, VHDA. You're
VH.
still learning.
I'm
Still
still
learning.
learning.
I'm glad I knew that, right? But when you receive this information, this valuable information, whether you see an article or you get the information from Jessica, from your lender, from your power partners, it would be a great place to put it in that discussion group and house it there, right? So he could do that. What else do we talk about in your circle? What do you like to do in your everyday life?
For the most part, it's just right now it's a lot of golf. It's a lot of just getting started in the real estate world. But
Right.
golfing's probably the big one. My dad we grew up around Evergreen Country Club. I knew all those people pretty much my entire life. And coming out of JMU, I've been away from everyone for about 5 years, and I just found a way to kind of reconnect with everybody.
Yeah.
All my friends around Arlington.
We're going to show you how he's farming that neighborhood. He said, if I were to become the real estate expert in the area, I'd like to sell a lot of golf course communities. So I want to play golf. I think, I'll put in Facebook groups that, hey, I'm up to playing golf. I got my date for me who wants to play golf, and I'll go network with those people. I'm like, well, imagine if you had a discussion group about golfing in Loudoun County and all the golf course communities, and you shared insights, and then you got invited to go play golf, and then they said, hey, will you do this? You can kind of become an influencer over the golf world by housing a discussion. Hey, you like playing golf? I have a conversation here about golf. Let's continue the conversation. His content in there could be 3 houses I love at golf course communities that are for sale this week. He could quickly become the golf course expert, right? Take over every single golf course community by simply inviting people at Jennifer's like, yes, I know earlier I was like, Substack enough yet? Are you writing over there? If you're not tuned into Substack yet, it's a bit, what did you say to me? It was a meaningful place to fall,
Yeah.
right? It just felt really helpful. That's my get to Substack, baby step in, start exploring, figure out how you can start conversations there, invite people in, because it's not working anymore on Facebook groups and the other places. Next year, she was right. So it's early, but I like being early, right? Okay, next page. Thank you.
As you've probably seen on social media channels, email, newsletters, etc., that I am a licensed loan officer, marketed as the best local lender. And while that might not be something you need right now, what we do know is that your friends and family, when they're making moves, they need an introduction to someone like me from a trusted friend like you. May I send you my digital business cards to have it on hand should a real estate conversation?
Okay, that's a video of let's connect. So changes that. 100 people you know the best. Think about everyone you know in your sphere, not just your past clients, your friends, your family. You've collected them on Facebook. It's like this perfect retirement home. People you like. They're from your elementary, middle, high school, college. They're from all different stages of life. Maybe your LinkedIn, past contacts, coworkers. Ideally, the new people you meet. Everyone should be collected in a place like Facebook. It's soft, right? Well, that to me is a major sphere of influence. And if you look at the algorithm and the information there, your friends list literally serves it up who's most interested in talking to you. Just go click on friends list. It will tell you exactly who to talk to in what order. Start with the first 100 and reach out to them with a simple message like this. If you need it, here's a Substack article about this. But it's a simple reach out to them. I don't know if you know, I'm a licensed real estate agent, the DMV. Well, I don't know if you're making moves, your friends and family might be. And what they really need is a trusted introduction to someone like me from a trusted person like you. You've got to simply open it up because they're not thinking about your real estate business like you are. Because they're thinking about the veterinarian and the third grade teacher at golfing tomorrow. They're not thinking about their real estate world. They didn't even hear real estate conversations until you start turning it on for them. So simply connecting with 100 people you know the best and say, hey, we don't normally talk about real estate, but I want to make sure I am a resource for you. May I send you a digital business card in case a real estate conversation comes up? That is super valuable. You should stop everything else you're doing in the way of marketing out there in the world and go back to the basics of having those conversations. I'm not going to go into full training, but it is on Substack. And what happens when you start doing that, I even have a tracker, so you can be like, who did I talk to yesterday? There's information there. You start getting easy responses. All you did was say, I sent you my digital business card in case your friend needs it. And they say, yes, please, send me your info. I'll be glad to refer you. Thanks, Chris. What's going on in your life? So this person was yes. More importantly, who else do you want to connect with? You're so sweet. Turned into multiple deals. And he knew me. He's known me for 20 years. Like, why he wasn't thinking of me? But turning that conversation on turned into multiple deals, including his ex-wife, right? So it was a simple, like, why would I not reach out to him? Yes, he moved to Florida. It doesn't matter. He knows people here, there. People move to this area. I want him to think of me when it comes to real estate. Absolutely. In fact, I have questions. Sure. I mean, the 200. So I did a 250 people. I tracked to give you all information. I got one no. My loan officer lives in my backyard. I have best friend in real estate. I'm good, Sam. Nice. Take her off my marketing list, right? Second no was my husband's a loan officer. Can we recruit him? Can we bring him to Atlantic Coast Mortgage? It was still a good conversation. Third no I got was just a really neat. It was just no. It was clear. There's a little backstory there. You're going to get some no's, but there's 247 people that were open to it, and then many more since, right? So it is so simple. I did it in my pajamas. I never felt like I was over. Like, I think I sent Miles a video in my robe this morning. Like, you're my friend. Who cares, right? This is what I look like in real life. And it makes them actually feel more connected. You don't need makeup. You don't need to change your outfit. Just start connecting with your people. And 70 to 90% say yes before I even followed up.
How did you send the invites out? Like what format were you using, on text or on Facebook or?
So I talked to them where I would normally talk to them. So if it's a text, I would send a text video. I mean, you can get into all these other bombs and whatever else, but keep it simple. I like Facebook Messenger as a place for you all to start because it's literally served you with the people you should be talking to first. It knows who you should be talking to. You go right into Messenger, you click the video. I like video because it's relationship building. It's a fast track for relationships. They get to know me much faster. Miles, have you started using video more?
Yeah, and I think an interesting point on this, just to highlight, is how many of us are real estate agents? Show of hands.
Mhm.
How many of us think that the easiest way to scale our business is to spend money? Although that may be true, how many of those of us are doing that today?
No.
I try not to. Why is that? Let's talk about that.
Because sometimes it didn't give you the best results.
Okay, what are the results of the pain points you're experiencing right now? Where are you seeing your money not returning to you? How much money are you spending on average?
A sphere of influence is most important.
Okay.
Yes.
Going back to your database.
Right, right. Are you seeing that when you did spend money, it was usually for some sort of video, commercial,
Right.
some sort of social media way?
I can spend so much money on open houses and it doesn't really.
Yeah.
Well, on that point, are you hosting the open houses or are you just curating videos of the open houses? What do you do?
Well, I've started to do the videos now because I think that's most important.
Right,
But, spending money on property glass, spending money on this and that, the other, it just doesn't work.
It's never returned.
right.
And, there's no return.
I think that the hidden thing in all of Sam's presentation, not really that hidden, but it's a great point to highlight, is that this is free.
It's free.
It's free, and the worst return you're getting is a no.
Right.
We get that a lot in this business. We get that as a part of being salespeople. It sucks, but we gotta eat.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
how many more no's do you need to get to a yes?
right. You're less likely to get no's from the people who already know, like, and trust you. They're invested in you. Like, it's a pretty good place to be. And here's the thing. The reason the lead generation is not taught is because third parties know how easy it is to generate leads, right? To accumulate information that you're kind of supplying them anyway into the listing servers. And they're able to then turn it around and sell it back to you. So anytime someone else is generating a lead and giving it to you, you're losing money. As you said, sphere of influence is the best. It's the most profitable. It converts the fastest, but somehow we tend to ignore it and let them go find somebody at pickleball or call up a sign down the street because you weren't top of mind. We got to get you top of mind. Having this conversation, saying, can I send you a digital business card in case your friend needs help? Turns that on for them. Like, oh yeah, I have their business card in my back pocket, just like I'd love an attorney's business card, and a doctor's business card, and a car salesman's business card. I want to have a person. Be their person. Okay. I will train
This is Evergreen Country Club. This is my neighborhood. So what I did was put together these card holders for every home in my neighborhood. Each week I come back and drop in the best local vendors I can find, bringing their info right to my neighbor's doors with a handwritten note explaining why I chose them and why I trust them. I put these together, which took a lot of cutting and a lot of packing to hit all 150 plus homes. This is what they look like all finished up, just a simple little door hanger, nothing crazy. Once I bagged them all up, I got in my truck and went door to door to make sure every home in the neighborhood got them. I'm not trying to sell anyone on me. Honestly, this just felt way more personal than some big online salesy marketing push. I'm just trying to connect with my community and be useful to the people I grew up around. You know, they have a realtor they can trust. Every week, I'll be back with 2 or 3 new cards, different categories, different vendors. Just keep building the collection out over time. So if you're on Bull Run Mountain and you find one of these on your door, that's me, Jake Hitt, with Hunt Country Sotheby's. I hope you find it useful.
Miles and I teach a farming project. You gotta get the 100 people closest to you, so it's not someone else's sign. Jake's like, oh, these people already know and like me. I just need to make sure they know what I'm doing. So yes, there's been farming. I know there's been farming. We're just gonna do it better than anyone else did. We're doing it for almost no cost.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like those boxes are $52. Like, and he's gonna hit the houses 8 times, right? There's some envelopes. You can handwrite, we even have a hack for that, but it's still a pen pal type relationship. So when he was saying, I want to make sure my neighbors know what I'm doing, I'm like, let's fast track it. Let's get it done in 8 weeks. I sat right in this room two Novembers ago and did ninja selling. Larry Kendall's the ninja selling. I spent 4 or 5 days here, and the whole thing is relationship building, becoming so visible that you're magnetic, that they start talking about you. This program, I'm not going to go into it, but I want you to walk out your door and picture 100 houses closest to you. That should be a farm, and maybe another community that you're an expert in. And can we go to the next screen? Okay, every Wednesday morning at 11 a.m., I teach this strategy. We can send this out. You can find it in the slides. There's a Zoom link to it. I did it this morning. It is just simply a super low cost way to be super high value and be magnetic. What are you finding so far, Jake, with it?
I'm finding I've done it for about 2 weeks now, and the community that I'm doing, they knew me when I was growing up. They just don't know I'm really real estate right now. But it's on my 2nd week of doing it. The whole community mainly has Ring cameras, so I'm seeing a lot more people coming out and actually greeting me. A lot more conversations with people. Some great feedback so far. I've only gotten 1 note so far. Guy was in contracting, said he knows everybody in the business. So, but I mean, I've only done about 3 streets, and that's about 150. And with the whole area that I grew up in, it's about 550 homes. So starting small on those streets now, see how the feedback goes, and just grow out from there. But I mean, it's been great work. I don't get like I don't get stamps or anything, but just cut them out on cardstock, give them out, and see how the feedback is. So far, it's just been great.
Jake has taken the idea, he's personalized it for him. He's like, I'd walk a golf course anyway. I might as well walk around my neighborhood, my friends and people that are there. We do have a lot of agents doing this, just taking over one neighborhood after another. I don't know if my next screen shares results, but it is the fastest way I've ever seen anyone get business. And it's not necessarily about your neighbor selling. In my neighborhood, but also about 140 homes, an agent, I said, hey, let's farm this neighborhood. And she started, and it was kind of cold. And she's like, you know what, I still think it'd be worth it. Only like 3 houses sell in this neighborhood each year, and other people are already farming it. She stepped out. So I was like raising my hands when someone needs to farm this neighborhood. I mean, we are a 25-year-old community, which means people are on their 2nd or 3rd time. Like it's ready, right, for flips. And I had another agent say yes. And in late December, we took around rolls of wrapping paper to the doors like you might normally do because you bought them for 25 cents at Walgreens the year before or Popeye. And we put a little note on it telling them we were going to be sharing information that they would need. And we showed up week after week with what we're talking about here. And by, is it on my next slide? January 20th, that's actually it, at 1, 2, 3, 4 p.m. I had a message from one of my neighbors saying, I can't remember your realtor friend's name, but I need her. I want to go see a house in Hillsborough. That one couple weeks of farming turned into 6.5 million of business in 6.5 months. 160,000 in commissions, assumed 2.42%, which was the average last year in business from doing this very simple farming project that costs less than $200 for short. Really good return on your effort, time, and money. This was last week, another loan officer on our team. We've just been 2 weeks in helping their agents at Keller Williams office in Ashburn doing this farming project, and one of them already had a buyer within 2 weeks of doing her farming project. It is just faster converting because it's a sphere of influence. It's already people knows you. There's some omnipresent recognition there. There was that whole training. I'm not going to go through it today. We don't have time for it. But if you want to learn how to farm your community better, I'd love to help you with that. Your goal with all of this is to create 100 raving fans. You don't have to be a mass market. 100 people you know the best, start having better conversations. 100 that live closest to you, so it's your sign on someone else. My neighbor said to me, he said, you know, I'm not moving, but I did count up that I have 27 nieces, nephews, and siblings that are going to be making moves within the next 5 years. So they're all coming to you. Yeah, that's the whole purpose. Get them raving about you. Use social media to amplify your relationships. I love seeing where your Ron was walked in and started videoing the room, right? He's simply using social media to say, this is what I'm doing. This is my reminder to you, right? Use social media to amplify, to build on a relationship, to create those triggers. Talk about the pink doors and the instance and the things that are of interest to you, because that makes them feel more connected to you. You're like me, I want to be with you, I want to work with you, right? You don't even have to talk about real estate or mortgages if they start connecting with you and you have that clear message up front. Is, hey, we don't normally talk about real estate, but you do know this is what I do every day. I know that's clear. When you have friends or family who need help, I'd love to be the person you think of. Can I send you my digital business card? That should become like constant conversation to everyone you know, right? So do video. If you just can't do video, there's an audio button. They want to hear your voice. If you can't do audio because you hate the way I sound, text it. But just start doing it. My tracker says do it for 5 relationship reach outs a day, 5 business reach outs a day, 5 follow-ups. It takes 7 minutes. It's actually irresponsible not to do it. I think that's it. There you go. What questions do you have? Was that helpful? No questions? Thoughts?
You put the QR code in the slides.
Yeah, I'm sorry, contact information, maybe the QR code to the slides is back to the very first screen.
We'll also send everything in an email address to the.
Yeah.
staff.
Yeah. You know, as a loan officer, we know your success is your success, right? It's our responsibility to partner alongside you. Like, we have a lot of conversations about, let's just go generate the leads, right? We could do that, but I would rather empower you to be successful, you to be successful, you to be successful, and all work together.
How long have you been on Substack?
Yeah. A month. It's the best.
I
place.
joined like 2 weeks ago. I'm still figuring it out. I'm old, but I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to explore ideas, like it's a great place to like land and consume content. Consuming is not the best thing you can do. Creating is actually a little bit better. If you want to explore ideas on what your content might look like, and it is it's been developed over the past 7 years. It's even a soft place for authors to land, right? And they're like, don't AI Substack. But do I still use AI and make AI use my words? Absolutely, to just kind of fine tune and, you know, I'll say to my AI, this is what I want to say, but say it in a Substack way. And do not use your AI patterns. Jennifer said earlier, I can pinpoint AI all over the place.
Yeah.
And what's happened, we've spent 3 years in the real estate world. I'm saying 3, I think it's about 3, where people have said, yeah, but do video, create video, it builds trust, it builds visibility, and they weren't wrong. But the moment you start bringing AI in your words, there's a pattern of those words.
Everyone can
Those
tell.
2-sentence words, oh my goodness. You are going to end the fake video. It's one thing if it's my licensing instructor And I know that I'm watching a fake person. I don't care. I'm just getting through damn text. But if you're my realtor and you're a fake video, you are going to lose every bit of trust so fast. Everything you've worked so hard for, I don't care how good it gets. You're in a relationship business, not a transaction business. And there are ways to use AI. I'm a huge fan of AI. Like, I'm hoping my son will retire me in 3 years. He's so good at AI type thing. I'm a huge fan of it, 100%. I love it. And I use it day in and day out. But I would encourage you to use it when you're on your way to meet buyers and they're like, why do I want to live in Northwest DC? I care about X, Y, and Z. I don't know anything about X, Y, and Z. Start talking to your AI and say, tell me everything I need to know about X, Y, and Z on my way to my appointment in Northwest DC, so that you're now the expert. Or coach me as though you're Larry Kendall with Ninja Selling on how to say this. Oh my gosh, the other day I needed to send a message for a really big business deal. And my words are very different from my husband's words and different from Miles' words. I sent an email to Miles, he said, well, I would have written it this way. My husband said, I would have written it this way. It doesn't matter how we would write it. What matters is how you receive it. So I went in and I said, this is her LinkedIn profile. This is what I want to say. Say it in a way that connects with her and has her respond fast with a yes. It literally gave me her exact personality and told me exactly how to write it to resonate with her. So powerful, right? So, oh gosh, I could go on. Awesome.
Okay, can we copy your, thank you.
Just get out of the way.
I've also just heard communities, I might be the last one, but like, what is such that community? Is it just about blogging, like, is it just a
So there's a couple
hear about it a lot.
couple things that are important here. Blogs were a big thing, and you need them like for your websites. There's SEO, search engine optimization, and there's keywords. Guess what? You guys all want some keywords. It makes it really hard for you to rank at the top, right? Well, AI is AEO, Ask Engine Optimization. It's a shift. Think about a recipe. You go to a recipe and you want the actual recipe and there's pretty photos and there's all this like word salad about the recipe. You have to go all the way, scroll to get to the bottom. SEO worked that way. Put the important content at the bottom because the longer they stay on your site, the more valuable you are and you'll rank higher, right? So that's how SEO works. And it's still got its time and place, right? You blog. Well, now AEO is put the information right up front. Put it in your title. Give them the value right up front in what you're telling them. So I want you to use this across all channels. What I love about Substack is it was developed over the past 7 years by authors. I've been to Substack. I actually had 2 accounts. I didn't know how to fix it a month ago, and I took a few minutes to figure it out. And I landed there. I'm like, I don't feel like there's much there. You start curating who you want to follow. So you might search your favorite author, baker, real estate CEOs, people who are typically speakers or writers. You start deciding what you want to follow, and it becomes like the shopping mall. You might like this, you might like this. And then you choose who you want to follow, and it will make suggestions. Nothing is suppressed. So when I'm sharing content there, like these slides, it'll never disappear. It'll never be hidden. There's never ads. There's never content you don't want to see. Like, does anyone love landing on Facebook or Instagram anymore? You're like, this feels bad. Why do I feel more stress? As Jake said, Substack seems to be a really meaningful place to land. I'm curating what I want to read and see. There's not many real estate agents there currently. It's Chris Colgan, and y'all probably have seen him because he does stuff that he's trying to get that valuable part. He's not really over there having a conversation. He's just kind of cross-posting his videos. There's Shane Gilbrey, who's writing about, I read this book, and this is what I like. No one's doing it well. It is wide open for you. And what happens when you land there, so I'm creating a live video right now. When I push end, it will say, where do you want to post this to? It's going to leave it on my Substack for the people who've opted in. It's when you email them, like it's a newsletter, and say, hey, Samantha just posted something. Unless they say, no, I just want it to be on my wall. They get to choose how they want to receive information. It's going to say to me, you want to post this to LinkedIn, YouTube? Would you like to make a podcast out of this? And I'm going to create your social media content. It is your website, it's your newsletter, it is your social media scroll, it's a community you can grow based on a discussion group you want to have. And you no longer need a social media content person. You no longer need someone developing websites. It literally creates a website for you and lets you link your current website. It just does all the things in one place and then puts you in a mall of people who might choose to walk in. Does that help? The people that are there currently are authors and they're saying, don't AI Substack. Don't come in here with your AI stuff. That's a loud, clear message. So it is the opportunity for you to say things the way you would say it, written word, in photos, videos, all the things other sites have, just in a much more pleasant way.
What are the costs?
It's free. What? It's free. Imagine a free website, a free newsletter, everything's free. Now, I can keep some information, right? I'm like, because I know that if I don't charge you $5 a month to see that darn tracker, you're not going to actually go in and get it, just ignore it, right? So I gatekeep some of my information, and I feel like my information is quality, and I've got people in California who want to see my information, and I'm like, okay, well, you pay me $5 a month to actually have coffee with me on Substack, right? Like, I'm giving it away, so, for sure.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I used it to purchase a ticket at a later stage. Is that?
No. You're not buying anything on there, there's no ads, it's not a place to sell things, it's a place to connect and have discussions, to share what you know. And that might be like everything you want to know about moving to DC. So here's the key thing. There's something called that ask engine optimization. People want clarity. They want one answer now. Believe it or not, they do not want 3 loan officers. It's not a recipe rule. It's not your brokerage rule. You do not have to give them 3 loan officers. You have the ability to say, I got 100 loan officers in my back pocket. I've gotten to know you. This is the person you need to work with, right? You can give one. People need clarity. They are overwhelmed. They need you to be their expert. And I know there's someone who says, but it's true. It's true, I promise. But that being said, they don't need a lot of information. They don't want, you know how they go to a Facebook group and they ask for a dog walker or a real estate agent and there's 90 responses? Then they're overwhelmed because people are coming into their DMs and trying to sell them or talk them into something where what they really needed was just one clear answer, right? And they don't have word of mouth. They don't have a phone book anymore. They don't even have their Rolodex anymore. So they resorted to Facebook groups, which would have been great 5 or 7 years ago, but now they're like, I'm going to go in anonymous this time, because that was painful last time. And then they get berated for being anonymous. Facebook groups are like no fun anymore. They're just no fun anymore, right? So people don't like it there. All right, go to Facebook and say, I'm posting the best conversations on Substack. Come follow me. One person at a time starts following, right? Now, I'm still directing them there. I'm using the content that it's creating for me, and I'm going over to Instagram on my stories saying, I just dropped a good idea on Substack. Go over there, right? I'm not telling you it's fast. I'm at 58 followers a month later. But I'm starting to see it take traction, and I'd rather talk to 58 people that care than probably the 4,000 people who don't.
It's 59.
Sorry?
It's 59.
59 now. Yeah, 60. Yeah, yeah. And you know what? The funny thing is that Sam Tunador's lead gen expert, right? It's like, wait, why isn't she talking about loans? Because it doesn't matter about loans if you don't have business. I want to help you get business, right? Now, I can add another publication, and my husband's like, all right, I'm going to work on that publication about helping you choose a better loan. Like, we have a lot of content to share. But I figure if I start with you and helping you with your business, Miles helps you with your business, we're all going to have a business, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it. I just think this is the basics. The 100 people closest to you, the 100 people who know you the best, both in distance and personal, and then use your social media to amplify it. Whatever channel you love. I mean, TikTok's a lot of fun. I'm over there directly because it's Substack also. I don't know if I answered your question.
Any more questions for Samantha? All good? Round of applause? Oh, okay, yes. Yeah, so if you have any questions, we are having a free happy hour after, so yes. Feel free to ask more questions about Substack. I've learned something new. That's something that I'm going to be signing up for. So Question, can anybody tell me what the median age for